What is up, Aquarius? How are you guys doing? It's time for your weekly check-in. We're going to see what's happening with you guys in the third week of December 2025. December week 3. Now, I do have an important announcement to make. But first, if you are in need of a personal reading, all the information on how to go about scheduling one is right down here in the description box of this video. But the important announcement that I have to make is for the remainder of December, as a little Christmas New Year's treat, all of my courses are available for download on my website. So I have How to Read Tarot Part 1 and 2, because the first part is like the by the book guide. The second part is the intuitive guide. That's the most important part, I think. I also have the beginner's guide to manifestation, the steps to true healing, how to attract your life partner, and manifesting financial abundance. Yes, I know it sounds kind of corny and kind of cheesy, but I promise you, you're not going to hear it taught and explained the way I teach it and explain it. I have 100% confidence in that. So, for those of you looking to arm yourself with a little bit of knowledge that I promise you you won't find anywhere else for 2026, I'd recommend at least grabbing one of them. If you choose the financial abundance course, that one actually is where I break down the quantum physics behind how the manifestation process works. You don't have that, it doesn't have to be with money, but I don't know why I just threw that one in the financial abundance course. I guess that's because that's what helped me on my path to financial freedom is when I learned that. But it's not knowledge that you have to know, but if you're the type of person that's like logical and analytical and you want to know like the down to earth facts about things, like me, that is where I put that in that course, and it might help it, I don't know, click into place a little bit quicker. Anyway, though, the link for all that is in the description, and January 1st, it goes bye bye. All right, let's jump into this. Let's see how the energy's looking between Aquarius and the person they're dealing with in the third week of December. How's it looking? Ooh, the Hermit. Some of y'all dealing with a Virgo. Hang on a second. Man. Well, oh, you know what? Hmm. Well, there's good news and not so great news. The not so great news is there's still a bunch of waiting going on here. So, for those of you waiting to hear from this person or waiting to see if they're going to take any kind of action, the waiting game continues. I'm not really seeing any action. But the good news is, and I love seeing this shit, especially around this time of year. I don't know if you're doing this on purpose or if you're just waking up one day and I don't know, man. Sometimes the sun just shines a little bit brighter and you unexplainably broaden your perspective on things and gain a deeper understanding for things without really, there's no words for it. And it almost just looks like you're over it like that, like almost overnight, you know? I'm not saying you're 100% over it, completely releasing it, but I think you're really starting to feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel here, you know, where this may have been weighing you down and bogging you down and leaving you feeling like you're just stuck. Now you're starting to feel like at least either unstuck or, like I said, you see the light at the end of the tunnel. One of the two. So, but, oh, and this one. Can't forget about that one. Three of Wands and the Hangman. Not a lot of movement, not a lot of action. And the Strength card. Yeah. So some of you dealing with a Leo. I also have Virgo and Pisces. All right. Well, let's see how they're feeling about you, how they're feeling about this situation. What's their energy look like in general? What kind of person are they? So they care a lot more about this than you know. But for some reason, it's like they don't really want you to know. Let me see if I can find out why. Oh, because of the Five of Swords. Okay. They don't. Okay. So they don't want you to know how they feel because they're afraid that you're going to turn and use that against them. Now, where would they get an idea like that? Why would they think you would do something like that? Because that's what they would do. That's why. That's what they would do. So people can only see you through the lens of their own perception. And 90 to 95% of the way a person sees you is a projection of the way they see themselves, right? It's the same reason why um, 9 times out of 10, the first person to accuse the other person of cheating is usually the one that's cheating, right? The cheater is usually the first one to start accusing the other person of cheating. Because in their mind, well, if I'm doing it, you're probably doing it too, right? They're judging you based on their own perception of what they themselves are doing. So, yeah. Now, this person hasn't had a lot of success when it comes to replacing you. Not really. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Honestly, this person now, usually, I would say that this person doesn't go very deep. Now, this is kind of funny because I do think this person goes deep, but there's nothing down there. Does that make sense? This is weird. This is a very strange energy. Or normally when this comes through like this, I'm like, well, I can't dig very deep. There's not a lot to this person. And if you could imagine though that this person does go very deep, but it's just a dark, empty void, a void of confusion. I think that maybe that would be the best way to describe this person. They have a very, very empty, dark void deep down inside of them. They don't know what they want. They have no idea. They don't have a clue what they want. But I can tell you one thing, unless you need a little reminder, it would probably serve your highest good to keep this person at least at an arm's distance. And I'm just being generous saying that. King of Swords reversed. Ugh. I need to clear the air here. This energy is nasty. The energy in my studio is heavy as shit. Hang on a second. All right. All righty. Whatever. Let's just get the advice on this. That was the nastiest feeling energy. It's like you can feel it down here in the pit of your stomach. Ugh. Let's just get the advice on this. I got a million things that I want to say, but I'm not going to yet until I see what comes through. Yeah, there's not a lot of wiggle room here, man. Honestly, there's really not. if you do try to bring this person back into your life, it will probably ultimately end up resulting in a reconciliation attempt. Now, there may be a lot of twists and turns, but it will eventually end up resulting in a reconciliation attempt because of the energy, and I think more than likely a third party involved as well. It will be a failed attempt. The energy between the two of you is not sufficient enough to sustain anything solid. Now, I'll tell you that. The rest is up to you. The rest is up to you because you need to be able to see that for yourself. If you don't, it doesn't matter if it's this person or someone else, you're going to go through this again. And don't worry, the universe isn't picking on you. That's what literally some people, clients that I've had on Zoom calls, literally think I feel like the universe is picking on me. No, we all go through this. Every last one of us goes through this. We repeat cycle after cycle after cycle. There's no way to cheat your way through it. So if you go to a psychic or a reader or a channeler and they tell you, hey, this person doesn't have good intentions, you need to get the hell away from them, you can do that, but you didn't learn anything from that. So you're going to go through that again with the next person. You run back to that reader, they tell you this person doesn't have good intentions, you need to get the hell away from them. If you do that, that's fine, but you didn't learn anything. You're going to go through it again and again and again and again and again. That's the way this works. That's why I don't want to just tell you what you should or shouldn't do. My goal is to hopefully help you see what you should do so that you're making the decision. Don't just do it because I told you to. Don't just do that. That's not going to help you. So I'm just gonna put that there and leave it at that. You take that information and do with it what you will. All right, we're gonna shift gears now. Let's see what is happening generally with the singles. What's happening, man? Generally with the single Aquarian. Damn, Three of Cups again. Is that the card of the night? Hang on a second. What's coming in for the singles? Oh, shit. Some of y'all might end up finding yourselves wrapped up in a third party situation. And let me just see what the rest of the spread says, but it doesn't look like anything harmonious. Let's put it like that. Yeah, I'm seeing communication. Yeah. Yup. Ah, okay. So a lot of you, I think, are about to be tested. Yup. I know you've heard me say that a lot over the past few months because it's going to happen a lot because 2026 is rolling up. So we are all at a crossroads right now. We're either going to evolve to the next level or repeat the last level. So now here's one thing that I think I need to mention more when I talk about this. When you are tested, it's tempting. You're not going to be tested with something that is easy to walk away from. It's going to be tempting. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be much of a test now, would it? Not really. Um, but yeah. Whoops. Game player card, third party situation. Now, so I'm going to go way out on a limb here. Some of you may end up dealing with somebody that straight up, bold face tells you that they're like still in a relationship, you know? Spits the whole, oh, poor pitiful me. I'm in this toxic relationship. I'm trapped. I can't get out of it. So here, come be my savior and help me. Don't tell nobody. I would never. do that to you, right? And we all got to learn that lesson at some point, don't we? I think we do. I can't think of anybody I've ever asked that hasn't been through that, right? Where they spit this little narrative that the person they're with is so horrible and this and that, and they get you believing that you're special, right? They'll cheat on them because they're a toxic piece of shit, but they would never cheat on you, right? And then what happens? They cheat on you, right? I remember when I learned that lesson. Thank God that's when I was young. I learned that lesson when I was 15 years old, messing around with this girl that had a boyfriend, and I thought I was special. Oh, she wouldn't do that to me. Oh, no. Oh, no, not me. Man, when I found out she messed around on me, my poor little pea picking 15-year-old heart was in pieces. I couldn't believe that she would do that to me, right? Boy, I ain't never done that ever again. I learned. That was one example of a cycle I didn't have to repeat. I learned that one. I learned that one straight up. Now, again, I know I'm going way out on a limb here, but I'm getting a lot of third party information in here. A whole lot. So, whether it's somebody who's in a relationship or the death card reverse came out too, I forgot to show you. Maybe it's a jealous, salty ex that they can't quite let go of. Some sort of third party energy in here that could lead to some ugly, nasty drama. All right, let's get some general advice. I'm changing up the advice this week. This is just whatever fucking advice needs to be heard the most by the people that watch this video. It can be about anything. It can be random, mismatched, mixed messages. What general advice does Aquarius need for the week of the third week of December? Okay. So you need to understand what the universe is going to give you when you ask for something. If you ask the universe for patience, the universe is going to put you in situations that are going to make you want to pull your fucking hair out. When you ask the universe for strength, the universe is going to put you through challenges and obstacles. Okay. Shit don't come easy, man. Just understand that. Understand that. Um, Monitor your vibration, monitor your frequency. Okay. The spiritual path. Okay. Don't fall in the trap of thinking, comparing yourself to these bullshit spiritual public figures that make you think that they spend their life meditating next to a waterfall, drinking a green smoothie, and levitating. And then that's bullshit. Crock of horse shit. Right? It doesn't make you less spiritual to dip down into a low vibration. Okay. Those people that pretend that they just levitate and shit rainbows all day, they dip into low vibrations too. They're regular humans just like me and you. They put their pants on one leg at a time. They wipe their ass when they doo. They get mad. They got emotional triggers like we all do. We're all regular ass humans, okay? The spiritual path is where you monitor your frequency, monitor your vibration. When you dip down into a low vibrational state, it's okay. Just acknowledge it, catch yourself, and work on it. I know that sounds kind of corny, but I'm telling you, repetition over time, over and over and over, will eventually unwire that emotional trigger out of your brain. When clients come to me and they ask me, like, how do I heal from this emotional trigger or this trauma? It's that simple. It's no different than healing from being fat. What do you have to do? You got to go fucking get active day after day after day after day after day until it starts writing itself into your brain. There's no easy way. Not easy. There's no easy way to do it. When you catch yourself being triggered, it's just like when you catch yourself wanting to eat that piece of chocolate cake. You got to stop yourself, and it's hard, and it sucks, and it hurts. Right? Go eat the goddamn chicken and rice instead. It sucks. It's not fun. Right? It's not fun. This is what you got to fucking do. And you force yourself and force yourself and force yourself and force yourself day after day after day. And then that starts unwiring itself in your brain. And then eventually, what was once uncomfortable becomes comfortable. For those of you that want 2026 to actually be a year that creates a genuine change in your life, it's going to suck. But that's okay. It's supposed to. It has to. Right? No change is made by itself. We live in a dimension of duality. You either have pain first and pleasure later, or pleasure first and pain later. That's the dimension we live in right now. Now, maybe in the next 30 or 40 years, as we start going higher and higher in vibration, then some things are going to start changing. But right now, we're still just right there over the line into the fourth dimension. We haven't made it very far. Okay. Like, have you ever driven from coast to coast in the United States, from the East Coast to the West Coast? You start off in the East Coast, you look around, all you see is grass and trees and trees and grass. That's all you see, and flat ass ground as far as the eye can see. And then at some point, you're looking around at dirt, desert, and red rock mountains. Where did that happen? There is no line down the middle of the US where the grass ends and the desert begins. It's a gradual process, right? Once you get to this point, there's a little bit less grass and a little bit more dirt. And then the further you move, a little bit less grass and a little bit more dirt. And it continues gradually changing. And we're still kind of at that place where there's still a bunch of grass. Yeah, there's a little bit more dirt. It's getting more deserty. But we're still in the very, very beginning stages of the fourth dimension. We haven't moved that far into it. So right now, that's what we have to deal with. Duality. Pain first and pleasure later, or pleasure first and pain later. And that's all there is to it. So whatever it is that you're working on in here, it's no different than working on anything else. Just like here in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have all the new year, new me fuckers in the gym. I hate that. God damn it, I hate that. When I got to walk in the gym and I want to get my run in, and every treadmill is filled with somebody walking. Oh, that pisses me off. God damn it, that pisses me off. But you know what the good news is? Oh, they'll be gone in a couple of weeks. Couple of weeks, they can't hang, they can't deal with the discomfort, and then they just fall back and just have a repeat of last year, right? But it's the few people who say, no, you know what? This is what I'm going to fucking do. It sucks, but I guess every day is just going to suck now for the rest of my life because this is what I'm going to do. By the time July gets here, it ain't going to suck so bad. By the time next fall gets here, it's written into your brain. Now it's just a part of your daily routine. Same thing when you're fighting emotional triggers or your thoughts or forcing new thoughts or saying affirmations. This is the way affirmations are supposed to be said as well. When you say an affirmation, you're not speaking to some external sky daddy or spirit guide or invisible superhero that's going to reach down from the clouds and help you out. Affirmations you're saying to yourself. The reason why you're saying it to yourself is that the goal is to burn that affirmation into your subconscious mind so that it's running all by itself on autopilot like a computer program. Once you do that, watch how quick it manifests. Watch how quick. If I was you, I would pick one affirmation, one, and say, I'm going to say this every day, all of 2026. All of 2026. It could be something as simple as, I am happy, I love my life. I am successful. I am worthy. Simple, short, sweet, and simple. And you say it. You keep saying it. Keep saying it. Keep saying it. Keep saying it. It's going to feel stupid at first. You're going to feel like you're wasting your time. This is pointless. This is dumb. This isn't doing anything. Keep saying it. Keep saying it. Keep saying it. Right? Eventually, watch. By the time October gets here, that affirmation is going to be running underneath your conscious thoughts. Watch what happens in 2027. Watch. That's how it works. That's how it really works. So just know that it's not an easy path. That's the part that's still in 2025. I've been working my ass off for the last 7 years to try to shed light on this. And I still sometimes feel like I might be wasting my time, but there are parts of the spiritual manifestation and evolutionary path that are going to suck. That's normal. That doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. Whenever crazy things start happening, that doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It means you're shifting frequencies. Changing from one frequency to the next can be an ugly process. It can be a messy process. Old shit has to get ripped away from you, right? All kinds of things have to change in order to turn you into a different person, in order to turn you into a vibrational match to a completely different lifestyle. It can be a messy process. Bad things can happen. Scary things can happen. I wish it didn't. I don't like it either, but that's just the way it is in this game, dude. So you can sit in your comfort zone and keep spinning in the circles that you've been spinning in for the last 5, 10 years. Or you can step out of your comfort zone and say, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to see what the universe has to offer. At the end of the day, let me just leave you with this. You know what my worst fear is? I heard of this hospital study that they did on 100 elderly patients on their deathbed. And they were asked to reflect on their life's biggest regrets. And almost all of them, all but like 10 of them, you know what their regrets were? Their regrets were not things that they did, but things they didn't do. Chances they were afraid to take, risks they were too afraid to take. And now they're sitting on their deathbed looking back thinking, what if? What if? I wonder what would have happened. I don't know why. When I heard that, that was like a gut punch. That kicked the shit out of me. I promised myself at that point. I was like 28. I was like 10 years ago. I was like, you know what? Nah, fuck that. I am not going to be 70, 80 years old looking back wondering what if. From this point forward, if I fail, I fail. If I don't, I don't. I'm going to try. You will watch me try and fail miserably before you see me let fear hold me back. I will trip and fall on my face in front of the whole world before I let fear hold me back. Because time is flying by, dude. Pew, pew. One of these days, it's going to be gone. One of these days. And at least I'll have a cool story to tell. When I'm talking to my grandkids, I'm going to have a bunch of badass fucking stories to tell. Because that's all that you're going to take with you at the end of this life is your stories and your legacy and the imprint that you left on this world and the experiences that you had. So, do you want to be one of those old people that gets to the end of your life and realizes you've just spun in circles in the same spot for the rest of your life? If that's cool with you, no judgment. Hey, if that's genuinely the experience you want to have and you're comfortable, cool. But if you're anything like me, fuck some fear. I'm going to try. Anyway, I feel like those were the messages that my Aquarius family needed to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. I think I saw a couple super chats earlier, didn't I? There's one. Alchemist, thank you for the super chat. And Stacy, thank you for the super chat. All right, y'all. I hope that gave everybody all the clarity and guidance that they needed. Don't forget, information for personal readings is in the description. And for those of you just now tuning in, I said this at the beginning of the video. For the remainder of December, I have all of my courses available for download on my website. Okay. How to Read the Tarot, Part 1 and 2. Beginner's Guide to Manifestation. The Steps to True Healing. How to Attract Your Life Partner, and Manifesting Financial Abundance. Okay, there's a lot of information in there. As corny as that sounds, a lot of information you're not going to find anywhere else. I have 100% confidence in that. 100%. Because the source that I got a lot of it from isn't even available anymore. And maybe it will be one of these days. We don't know. But yeah, as far as I know, I'm the only person in the public spotlight who has this information. And I think everybody who wants it deserves it. That's why it's so reasonably priced. It's priced so low. So the link for that is in the description. January 1st, it goes bye-bye. All right. I'm out of here now, y'all. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.